Hello, everybody. Welcome to Targeting Winners, episode 80, moving into week 13 of the college football season. Thank you very much for listening. You can find us on Spotify and on Apple. You can also find us on YouTube. You can see all of our happy, smiling faces. Last week, pretty happy for some, not so much for others. Pete, Darren, how you guys doing?
Lovely.
Not too bad, I guess. Would you like to go on a rant, Darren?
No. No, I would not.
One thing I totally forgot about last week, I forgot to celebrate the Miami loss.
This is true.
I had my chance to
hate them every day of the year.
That'll happen again. I mean, well, hopefully, they started their October swoon a month late, and it'll continue against the mighty Wake Forest Demon Deacons this weekend. We could hope. So, all right. Well, we're on a little bit of a time crunch this week. Let's just jump right in. Pete, you want to do one of yours first?
Sure. Graphics from just doing this. So
how about that one?
That's the one I want to start with anyway. So let's talk about Purdue and Sparty. So this has a double play for me here because I've got my long-term bet here for this year of Sparty being 5.5 wins or over. So I need them to win this game and the next one. So I'm kind of hanging in there with Sparty on that bet. I think they actually can win this game and the next one. We'll focus on this one this week first. Purdue at MSU, over-under is 47.5. Let's face it, both of these teams are terrible. Their offenses are terrible. Michigan State has a meh defense. But that 47.5 number to me is a high number with these two teams because these offenses are largely inept. So I look at this being a low-scoring game that I hope MSU wins so that I can help with my futures bet. So this is my hope this week, right? I'm kind of double playing this. I have the futures bet already in place for MSU. Need them to win this week at home against a really bad Purdue team. So I hope that will happen. And since both of these teams are not very good and both of these offenses are hot garbage, I expect they will go under the 47.5. So I have a 1-unit play on the under 47.5.
What you thinking, Darren?
Yeah, I agree. These teams, I think Purdue had 49 in one game against Illinois, but other than that, their offense coordinator has already been fired. Their head coach may very well be the next to go. You can still count on Aiden Childs to turn the ball over at least twice a game, it seems. I don't see a lot of points here either.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're in this situation with your future bet. I thought they would have had that by now. That's kind of a disappointment. It wasn't that high. The expectations weren't high, but it's still a little bit of a disappointment on that end. I thought they had at least maybe even a 6, maybe even a 7-win team. I didn't think they'd be, this. I thought they would have improved more than this. I know it's a new coach and everything, new quarterback, all that.
Yeah, we talked about it at the conference preview. It was just so hard to tell. I mean, that this team was in really bad shape coming into this new coaching regime. It's not a lot of talent. So it was going to take time. So I knew it would be tight on this number, but I felt that he would continue to see some improvement through the year. That's been a little bit questionable, so we'll see what happens after this. But, if they can play decent in the next couple of games, at least it'll speak to them moving in the right direction. So anyway.
All right. Well, from your future bet, we'll move right into one of mine. I had Sam Houston winning Conference USA. They already hit their over bet for me for this year. Going at them again. They're getting 6 against Jacksonville State. This should get them in. They would have the tiebreaker. They'd have the same record with they won the head-to-head if they get this game. They're getting 6 points. They seem to be rolling. I think they're getting better as the year. I've seen a few of their games. I think I was close to just going with money line on this bet, but obviously rooting for Sam Houston. But I took Sam Houston here, the Bearcats, and getting 6 points here at Jacksonville State. Any thoughts, questions?
No, I mean, if they're going to win this game, let's face it, Jacksonville State has a pretty terrible offense. But if their offense can get rolling, they play that tempo. They get as many plays in as they can. Rich Rodriguez is doing a nice job down there. They just need to hang in the first half because if they fall behind early, They do not have the quick strike offense that's going to get them back into this game. So should that happen, should Jacksonville State start rolling, let's hope the back door is open for you. But I mean, Jacksonville State's defense inspires zero confidence at all. So they certainly could hang close, but if Jacksonville State gets like 14 quick ones, yeah, that could be bad because they can run and run the clock if they want to. Their quarterback is a great dual threat guy. Plus, they also have a decent running back group there. But yeah, Sam Houston's playing some good ball, so they stay close early. The better that'll be for them, I think.
Yep. Then it's all looking ahead next week when they host Liberty, last game of the year. All right, Peter, which one do you want next? You want Miami?
Throw them up. That
Throw
works
them up there. Let's go.
All right.
People. Let's get them off my screen.
Yeah. Wake at Miami. So my thought here. So the over under 64.5. It's a high number. If you look at these offenses, if you just look at it on paper, you would honestly, an over would not be surprising here. If you look across some of the predictions that are out there all over the place, over seems to be what people are leaning into. I'm going different here. I think Miami's going to be pissed off. They're at home. So I think they're going to score a ton, and I think they might actually play some defense and create some issues for Wake here. So I do expect, obviously, a good amount of points to be scored here, but a lot of points by Miami, not nearly as many by Wake. To me, that 64.5 is a pretty high number. So I am going with 1 unit on the under of 64.5 for this game for those reasons.
Yeah, I can see Miami rolling, unfortunately. This is, are they going to rest people? Take people out? I can't see Wake Forest putting up much more than maybe 10, 13 points, maybe. So, yeah, if Miami carries the bulk of the workload, I can see that hitting. I don't know, Darren, what do you think?
I have not bet on or against Wake the entire season, so I have not been paying too much attention to them. 2 weeks left in the regular season. Rankings came out. Miami took a little bit of a drop. Pete's right. They need to style points, even though the committee won't say it. They do kind of matter. And here's a chance for Miami to get some because somebody in the top 5 in the Big Ten is losing this week. So, Miami's got a chance to make a statement, maybe get back up a spot or 2 in the rankings. So, yeah, I agree with Miami rolling. I also agree that I don't think Wake is going to score a whole heck of a lot here.
Yeah, don't get me started with the committee. I think they're going to mess up this playoff here.
They were spot on about Florida State, man. You guys.
Yeah, I ain't even talking about last year. I'm worried about this game right here. I am. This is Indiana on the road. Ohio State, they're getting, I believe, 13.5. I got a couple days ago. I think they're for real. I'm just worried that I think they're ranked 8th or 9th so far right now. They still have Penn State ahead of them for some reason. I just think that even if they lose by a field goal, they'll probably drop them down to 17 or something like that and just totally ruin a really nice year for these guys. But on paper, they're even. I think the coach is going to have them, Signetti, have them ready to go. I like getting 2 touchdowns, and I'm going with Indiana here, getting the double touchdown here. I know you're rooting for that.
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, I don't disagree. I agree with what you said. I mean, I think there's a real danger here that Indiana could get screwed, honestly, if this doesn't go well, because they've played really well all year. This is obviously a very difficult place to go and play. So it's going to be challenging. I just want to see him hold it close. It'd be great if they could win there. That'd be great. As a Michigan guy, obviously it'd be awesome. I don't see it happening. I'd like to see him hang close. If they could stay within, 7 to 10 and get that number, I don't think they're going to. But if they can, I think they'll be rewarded for it. If they don't, I think they're going to fall out of the rankings, unfortunately. So
yeah, and it's mostly name recognition, I think, too.
Oh, it is. They still being up there, which I don't necessarily agree with either, but whatever. But I'd really love to see Indiana do something here. I just walk into the horseshoe. Ugh. We've done it way too many times with good teams. Have gotten pummeled, so I don't know.
Any thoughts, Darren?
Yeah. First of all, there will be no Buckeye slander here because somebody has them at 8-1 to win the national championship. So let's not.
Yeah.
I think
Well, they'll be in the playoffs regardless.
I don't know, man. You lose twice.
Oh, stop it! They're already making the case for a 3-loss SEC team to get in.
That better not.
You know, I mean, well, you listen to them like, oh, we have all the great teams, and the Detroit Lions would be 5-5 in the SEC, and then they bitch that they got to play all these tough teams. I mean, it's a mess of your own making, dude. You know, next time you go to the Big 12, take Baylor and TCU. Don't take Texas and Oklahoma.
I'll just play the flip side here of what you guys. I mean, I agree. I think Indiana's had a great year, but again, just to be the other side here, again, who have they played?
Yeah.
I mean, who have they played?
They're playing Ohio State this week.
Okay, that's this week. But I said played as in past tense. I know you went to Mahonison, but follow me here. So far, of their 10 games, who have they played? Okay.
Well,
they played one halfway decent team, Michigan, and they struggled hardcore. Okay, so could they go in there and win? Yeah, McLaughlin, the center for Ohio State, tore an ACL. An already shoddy offensive line takes another hit. So I agree with your bet getting the points. Ohio State's offense doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence in me. Their defense does. But if Indiana loses by 14, everybody's going to be like, well, this is what happens. Strength of schedule. You don't play anybody, blah, blah, blah. The same thing could very well happen to Army. You know, they have a chance to go into Yankee Stadium and put one on the Irish, which could certainly happen. But again, if the committee's going to consider strength of schedule, yeah. But I also agree Penn State shouldn't be in there either because, like, really, who have they played that's really been that good? They played Ohio State and they got beat. So, you know, unfortunately, I think Indiana will probably drop if they do lose by 2 touchdowns.
Well, quick question: is Michigan a good team?
No,
but they're the best team that Indiana's played out of the 10 that have been on their schedule so far.
Well, no, but you're talking about strength of schedule.
Better than Michigan. Who have they played that's better than Michigan?
Well, I got to finish my point. You're saying Michigan's not a good team. There's another team that, according to what I'm looking at, hasn't played anybody. They played one team and got beat. That team was Georgia. The team I'm talking about is Texas. Look at their strength of schedule.
Yeah,
UTSA,
and if they lose to Texas
Monroe,
A&M,
they're still in.
A&M next week, should
They'll
they
still
be in?
be in. No, but they will be. They'll get put in. That's what I'm saying. They will get put in.
as will Ohio State, unless they get absolutely trucked.
Exactly.
Which is not going to happen. So that's the reality. If Ohio State either loses this game at all, which I cannot see happening, or loses to Michigan next week, which is not going to happen, they're in. Right? I don't care if they win by a point. They're in. So it doesn't really matter.
Well, when Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois, what were they ranked? You remember? Were they in the top 10? Were they in?
I think they were. They might have been 10 or 12, somewhere around there.
10 or 12. And where'd they fall to?
They should have fallen outside the top 40. That's an
But they didn't.
loss right there.
Because they're Notre Dame. It's all name recognition. That's what Texas will be in. If they lose another game, they'll still be in. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Whether it's name recognition or not is not the point. What has Notre Dame done in their this year since that loss? Are you trying to tell me Notre Dame has not really, like, outside of a 7-point win against Louisville, like, pretty much destroyed everybody else?
Well,
I mean, and I'm rooting for.
Have they played anybody?
Yes, well, we had Florida State on the schedule, but since
exactly, have they played it? They're not anybody. They're nothing this year. So
they also have wins over Louisville and at Texas A&M, which is one more quality win than Indiana has. So
this would be their quality win. We'll see what happens this week. I think it'll be a really interesting game. I mean, yeah, as I said, I don't see them beating OSU in the shoe. I don't see it happening. It would be awesome. I will be celebrating this thing next week if it happens, but I just don't.
I will be too. I'm rooting for them. I really hope they pull this out.
I'm rooting for your bet, but yeah, I'm just hoping that Ohio State and Notre Dame both get in and they're not on the same side of the bracket. That's really all I'm hoping for.
Absolutely.
Just both get in and don't face each other in the second round if you get there. Just wait till like the Final Four.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do back-to-back here because for some reason I'm broke one of my own rules and I bet 4 games instead of 3. So this is another team I'm starting to like more and more is the Minnesota Gophers. PJ Fleck and the Flecktons here. They're at home. They're paying Penn State, your favorite coach, everybody's favorite coach. Looking at the thing, they look pretty evenly matched. It's going to be very cold. I know Penn State's cold up there too, but I think 30 degrees in Pennsylvania is cold. 30 degrees in Minnesota, they might think about putting on a sweatshirt. So it's going to be in the mid-afternoon. I think it's going to get colder. I think Minnesota's playing very well. I almost went money line, but they're getting 12 points. I was really close to saying this is the game that we talk about that Franklin's going to lose. This could be the one. And anyway, I've got Minnesota getting 12 at home against James Franklin and the Nittany Lions.
I love it. I'll go. I mean, first of all, I mean, hats off to Minnesota for having a little bit of patience with PJ Fleck, because he's a really good coach. It took him a while to get things going. This team is a pretty good team. I like this team. Yeah, this is going to be a challenging game for them. Do I think they can win it? Yeah, I do. I mean, this could be Indiana's path in, right? If Minnesota can take care of business here and Indiana can just show really well this week, they don't need to win, just show. If they show and Minnesota takes care of business here, they'll get Penn State out of the way. That'll open a door for Indiana. So that's how I see these two teams playing together. But I like PJ Fleck. I like this team. So I really like that bet quite a bit. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in Penn State either. I wouldn't mind a money line play on this. But, I like Pete said, credit to Minnesota, man. Fleck was apparently rumored to want out at the beginning of the season to go to UCLA. He ended up staying. You thought that program might just implode. Nope, they've turned it on. They've had themselves a really nice season. Yeah, I hope they beat Penn State here.
Yeah, they can control number 44 there for Penn State. He's like their own version of Taysom Hill. Does a little bit of everything. I still love that play when he snapped the ball and then caught the touchdown a few weeks ago.
Pete and I will PayPal you $5 for every player you actually name for the rest of the season.
I either know the number or the name. I don't know both. I could probably know the name, but I won't know his number. If I know the number, I won't know the name. So it's one or the other. What do I know? I know he's number 44. I know he does everything. So but he's a very exceptional, very good player. But again, going back to the numbers, you got number 1 on Minnesota, and number 9, the receiver. I mean, those guys are awesome.
Put them together,
so,
you
yeah.
have 10.
Perfect 10. There you go. The perfect 10 offense with PJ Fleck. So there's too many kids, guys. All right. I barely know the name of the 2 kids in my house half the time. So
I'm just going to explain to you why you need to know the names from here on out, because a lot of college teams have kids who wear the same number. So
They do. Yes.
You're talking about the right 44. I don't know if there's another 44.
Is there
on
a 44 on
but,
defense? I haven't seen them. I've watched a few Penn State games. I don't recall seeing a 44 on defense.
I believe his last name is Warren, and he's one of the best tight ends in the country.
Okay. Well, okay. What's his first name, Darren?
Ty, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you got me.
I don't
there.
know. Sounds good. I mean, if I was going to have
Big surprise. I'm wrong again.
I don't know. Now I need to look it up. I mean, I know.
Yeah, now you want to look it up. While you look it up, we're going to go to Pete's last pick of the week.
Go to Pete's last pick.
Ole Miss and the Florida Gators.
Thank you very much.
What?
Interesting.
Ole Miss game with Pete? What are the?
No, I was going to say, do I bet on Ole Miss ever? No. I mean, they have some quarterback. I can't remember his name. Tim, do you remember his name? There's this quarterback in Ole Miss. Pretty good. Yeah. Do you know his number?
Dart.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart. So I don't know his
first name is Tyler Warren, by the way. So I was
Tyler
correct.
Warren. Okay, not Tyler Dart, but Jackson Dart. Is he number 5 or 9 for Ole Miss?
No, you tell us. You're supposed to.
I don't know. I know his name. I don't know his number.
Well, anyway, yes, we have Dart Vader going into Florida this week. So Ole Miss in Florida, number 55.5. I have been on Ole Miss since week number 1, at least scoring points. I haven't been on the right side of the bets all the way through, but my basic premise is that Ole Miss is going to score. And Florida's been better of late since they decided not to fire their coach this year, which I fully expected would happen. And they're coming off a really good win. So in Florida, I think both teams are going to score because Ole Miss scores everywhere. Florida's going to score at home. This 55.5 number based on that seems a little low to me. I think it's going to be a high scoring game as long as the weather's good, which I expect it will be. So I like the over of 55.5 with 1 unit here for this game.
Again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Gators pulled something here.
Mhm.
I mean, I say what you want about Napier. He's got him playing. I mean, I've watched more Gator games this year than Florida State, actually. So, yeah, I mean, I can see that happen. I wouldn't be shocked.
And that's why he wasn't fired, right? This team is playing for him.
Yeah, at least, they towards the end of the game, the teams with just the better players just kind of take over at the end, but at least they're in it up until then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, Ole Miss, they got a 50-point game in them coming up somewhere soon. It could very well be here. And with DJ Lagway, I mean, Florida's kind of legit. I'm curious to see what their odds to win the SEC might be next year. Probably get a nice juicy number with all those other powerhouses on there, but they got a lot of freshmen and sophomores. If Lagway stays, which supposedly he is, and Napier's back, it might be a year or two away for something from something special down there. So yeah, I can see like a 48-27 or something game like that. That's what this screams to me here. So
yeah, it's gonna take a lot of money to get Lagway away from Florida, I bet. If he goes, he's not going to go to like, UCLA or something like that. He's going to Texas A&M. Some school with just a crap load of money, just back up a Brinks truck to his house and just drop it all off. So, all right, final pick of the week. Going to my favorite team, America's team, South Alabama, the Gio Lopez experience. Here we go. USA. But they're giving a lot of points, 22.5. I got this. But Southern Miss is just really, really bad. And I think they're last in offense and defense.
Well stated. They're bad.
You can pretty much wrap it up right there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if Tate Rodemaker is still playing down there, but
is Frank Gore Jr. still playing for them? If not, they're a fade every week.
Yes.
Yeah. But we got Gio. And the offense is going. They got Fluff there at the running back, Pickett at receiver. I've been on this team a lot. I thought they'd have more wins than they do right now, but they could win this week to get bowl eligible. I believe they are still alive. They need some scoreboard help for the Sun Belt. And but I like South Alabama giving 22.5, a big number on the road, but I think they can do it. So I'm going with South Alabama here.
They could have a Geo Prism at quarterback and they'd win by 3 touchdowns. It really doesn't matter. By the way, it's an old age reference for those of you that doesn't even know that a Geo existed. But anyway, it was a car. So, this is, I think, a no-brainer here.
Nice. And Darren, no picks this week.
Nope. Taking a mental / college football break. Yeah, not a good season.
He's celebrating Christmas already because there's a Christmas tree behind him.
Yeah, he does. I mean, have you had any more trees go up in your house since last week's show?
No, they're all up. Just
they're all up.
One waiting to be decorated for when my children come home next week for Thanksgiving.
Do you do the elf on the shelf?
We did do the outside. We got some lighted up candy canes along the walkway, and Santa's not missing this place. That's for sure.
You better not. All right. Well, let's move this around and let's go over our picks for the week. If I can.
Are we not RPOing?
Oh, you want to do the RPO first? We can do that.
Whichever. There's not much on it, so might as well get it out of the way.
Okay. Let's see if I can get us on the screen here first.
Yeah, get our ugly.
Let's go. Colorado -2.5 at Kansas. Obviously, pulling for Colorado. Getting that Big 12 championship plus 4,000. This is a game they can handle. So I do have an automatic money line bet on Colorado. What do you guys think?
Like the bet?
Yeah, if Colorado's going to screw up, it's going to be here because Kansas is playing legit, but I don't think they're going to. They actually have some semblance of a defense this year. So,
and BYU +3 at Arizona State. I'd like to see Arizona State win this one here. Get BYU out of there. I'd almost guarantee Colorado a shot in that game, but if I was going to bet, I'd run with BYU here.
I don't know, man. Arizona State's 8-2. They only won like 3 games last year. If that dude, what Dillingham, I believe his last name is, doesn't get Coach of the Year consideration, I don't know who you give it to. I mean, yeah, that good for them, man. Because Herm Edwards left that program in shambles not too long.
He did.
Yeah, he cannot wait to get out of there.
Yeah, well, and good for them. I'm glad to see them turn it around as quickly as they have. But yeah, there's always talk about BYU being a little bit fraudulent anyway. Yeah, hey, as long as Cam Scatabo is in, I like Arizona State.
Yeah. Speaking of future bets, my Oklahoma future bet hit the crapper last week, but they are hosting Alabama. I'll get 13.5 at home. I'd almost run with Alabama here. I can see them covering that. I don't know what you guys think.
I'd love to see Oklahoma win, but yeah, I think this is going to
It doesn't matter anymore. I think it was 7.5 I had, so the hell with them.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I'd love to see Oklahoma win, but it doesn't
If
matter.
they can't help me, to hell with them. Get out. So, fire Venables. Maybe he can come coach the FSU defense next year. So A&M at Auburn giving 2.5.
Initially, that seemed kind of low to me.
That's
but
what I
there's
was thinking,
probably a
too.
reason. There's probably a reason.
Yeah, because I'm thinking A&M, that number's low, so I don't know
Very low.
why they're only
Yeah.
2.5.
I'm thinking A&M money line just for the hell. I mean,
Yeah,
Or, I
line
mean,
like
Auburn.
that, just scream, stay away.
Auburn
Somebody
at
knows
home.
something.
yeah. Auburn
When
at
a
home,
line doesn't make
2.5.
sense like that, it screams stay away. That doesn't make sense to me. So
I could not run fast enough away from this game. I mean, I hope A&M wins because that helps Notre Dame's schedule. But yeah, that line petrifies me to no end.
Jeez. USC minus 4.5 at UCLA. The Mark Bowl here.
Well, I was really excited about this one until USC switched their quarterback to that freshman.
Mayaviga, is that his name?
Yeah,
Something like that?
Maivia.
Don't ask me the number.
No, you shouldn't know the number because he wasn't even playing until like a week or so ago. But UCLA sitting at 4-6. I got their win total under 5.5. So I don't want to have to count on Fresno State to get the job done next week. But how can you bet USC to beat anybody at this point? I mean, at least UCLA is playing for Foster. I don't know what the hell Lincoln Riley's doing out there. And if you followed Mark on Twitter, he's super happy about how Potter is doing. So yeah, I mean, sadly, this would be a UCLA money line play for me if I had to make a bet. But yeah, somehow I want USC to pull their head out of their backsides and get a win here, so I can cash a futures bet with a week to go in the season.
Yeah, be nice. Colorado State 3.5 at Fresno.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Colorado State is undefeated in the Mountain West. Who had that on their bingo card? Nobody.
Let me check. Nope, not me.
Nobody. So we could be looking at Boise State hosting Colorado State in 3 weeks if somebody doesn't beat Colorado State. I think Fresno needs this one to get to 6 wins. You know, Mikey Keene, man, come on. What's the deal with you? You should roll Colorado State here. I would take Fresno. I think the wheels fall off Colorado State this week.
Oh, no, I'm staying away. Pass. Hard pass on that one. P, any thoughts on that one?
I would lean Colorado State. I just like the way that they've been playing. I mean, we talked about them being a little sneaky back in the preview early this year, and they've been that, right? They've been solid. So I'm going to keep riding it because I talked them up a little bit back at the beginning. So I'm going to stay with Colorado State here.
Nice. All right, Darren, let's go over your picks this week. Listen to us. No air or so.
I have 0 units on 0 teams for week 13.
Taking a breather.
Sounds
Possibly week
respectable.
14.
So, all right. So this week I've got South Alabama minus 22 at Southern Miss. I've got Indiana plus 13.5 at Ohio State. Got Sam Houston getting 6 at Jacksonville State, and Minnesota getting 11.5 at Penn State. Pete, what you got?
I am trying to right the ship because I've had 3 weeks in a row of 1 and 2, and I'm trying to fix that problem this week and get myself back on the winning track. So Purdue, Michigan State under 47.5. As I said earlier, they both stink. Wake Forest and Miami under 64.5. I expect Miami to absolutely truck them, but to remain under that number. And finally, Ole Miss in Florida. I think it's going to be a very fun offensive game, so over 55.5.
Nice. I just realized I forgot to put in my Florida State fade for the week. So, and you guys got the line on that one? Who are they? They're like Coastal Carolina.
I believe they're playing an FCS team. You probably won't get that till like Saturday morning.
All right. Well, whatever it is, take whoever they're playing and take the points because
I believe whoever they're playing is like 1-10.
Perfect.
Hey, they're
pretty sure
almost as bad as we are.
Take the points.
Somebody said that was going to be on ACC Network Plus, who like 17 people actually have that in the country. So
plus. It's the
plus.
eighth iteration of it.
Well,
ESPN
what we need now is thank you everyone for listening and watching. We need everyone to subscribe on YouTube so we can have more subscribers and viewers of that game. So that'll be something to look on to. Thank you for listening, everybody. This has been Targeting Winners episode 80. You again find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, email us at cfbdudes@yahoo.com. Thank you as always for listening, and we will see you next week.
Singing Christmas carols on the way out of this. Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes